Hi and welcome along to DR Sports. We are here today for the face-off. It's a huge game at the weekend. Most people say that this is the biggest game in English football. Liverpool versus Manchester United. And in our face-off today, representing the two clubs, we have two guys from two big fan channels that are repping. Let me first of all speak to the person who's the opposition today. That is Flex. How you doing from United View? And we've also got Alex AGT from the Klopp TV. Massive game this week, guys. But first of all, I've got a question for both of you. It's quite simple. As I said, one of the biggest games, if not the biggest,
it is the biggest game
in English football. But which club is bigger? Flex.
Man United is the biggest club out of the two. Man United is arguably the biggest club in the world. There is an elite three clubs in the world. That's Real Madrid, Barcelona and Man United. You can do your order of whatever you want to put it in. When it comes down to global fan base, when it comes down to revenue, when it comes down to who sells the papers, when it comes down to even trophies. I know Liverpool have the extra one or two, but when it really comes down to who's the bigger force, the bigger club, the bigger stadiums, the bigger attendances, the bigger everything, the bigger bad news when it's bad, the bigger good news when it's good. You know what I mean? It's Manchester United, hands down. Liverpool don't even get in the conversation as the top three clubs in the world, let alone the biggest out of the two clubs.
Alex?
Listen, if Flex in his head thinks that they're the biggest club or in the top three elite, hold it, bro. Take that. We're not interested in that. No, I'm saying, if you think it's fact, hold it. But what I would say is, whilst you're saying that you're the biggest club in this country, by fact, as you just said, we are the most successful team in this country ever. And to answer your other question, Robbie, is this one of the biggest games? Of course it is. Flex knows that. I know that. Listen, Arsenal are by trophies and by success the third biggest club, but it's always after us two.
But who's the biggest club? That's what I want to know.
Listen,
which club is bigger out of
He knows Manchester United are a
biggest and most successful. What would you rather?
The question, it's not two different. The question is who's the biggest club? And the biggest club in the world out of Manchester United and Liverpool is undoubtedly...
By how much?
By a big margin.
Success you have to take into account.
Yeah, 100%.
You do have to take success into account.
100%.
That's why I'm saying it's two separate things. If you want to say you're the biggest, cool, that's fine with me. But the most successful, that is us, by facts.
Manchester United, right? It doesn't matter whether we've been... When Liverpool weren't going on with anything, yeah? When they hadn't won that first Premier League in however many years, right? And I'm just saying a fact. Nobody cared. There weren't these big questions of, oh man, when are Liverpool finally going to...
There was.
When Man United fell from grace, it's in the papers every day, every single result scrutinised. The Carabao Cup, right, final, this will tell you now, was the most watched. Bigger than when Man City won it, bigger than when Liverpool were in it now.
Again,
why?
If that's what you want,
why?
That's great for
no,
you.
No, these are real facts to back up my argument that we're bigger than you because more people care. Even if you don't support Man United...
You're saying nobody cares about Liverpool?
Not as much as they care about Man United, for good or for bad. Fact. The ratings say it, the how many supporters we have worldwide says it, the amount of money that we generate says it, the stadium that we have, this is old and needs a re-lick of paint, still bigger than Anfield, always has been, always will be. Like they're even building up bits of the stadium now to up the capacity. It's still not going to be bigger than 75,000 Man United. It isn't, because Man United is a bigger entity. It's a mammoth football club. And like I say, when it comes to even global, forget even just between the two clubs, there are the three biggest clubs in the world, and that's Man United, Real Madrid and Barcelona. You might get Liverpool fourth.
What does this rivalry mean for you, Alex? I mean...
Well, it goes back to the dock wars, doesn't it, in the 50s and 60s between the two cities, which, again, are both northwest cities, probably not looked at with the same fondness by the authorities as London. So to even have two teams coming out of that area of the country, it goes to show that they must be doing something right. And I think Manchester United, without question, are easily one of the biggest clubs in the world, for sure. They are. But still... a lot of things need to happen for them to truly say that they are the biggest and most successful team in England, which we are. I don't want to see this, obviously, but I'm sure Flex wants to see Premier Leagues. I'm sure he wants to see Champions Leagues. We haven't seen this for well over 10 years.
Yeah, but when Liverpool had their drought, how long were they? It took you, 30 years to win a Premier League?
It was 26 years until you won a league under Fergie. So let's not pretend like it's just Liverpool that went through this long period of time without a title. We've both had our ups, we've both had our downs, we've both had tragedies. And I think that respect, because there is respect. I know it's a face-off, Robbie, but there is respect between these two teams, right? It exists. However, on a match day,
I don't really see it.
No, listen.
It depends on the conversation.
I see a lot of hatred.
We can act up for camera, and there is hatred. There is real hatred. We can act up for camera, but Flex and I both know that how can you not respect what they've done, and how can they not respect what we've done? But I'll say it again. If he wants to claim that they've got more fans than us around the world, if he wants to claim that there's less holes in their roof, better toasters available now at Carrington, better hot tubs, hold it, bro. We're still the most successful.
What I'm claiming
and that's what I care about.
Hang on a minute. What I'm claiming is that we are a bigger football institution than you. That's the question. Who is a bigger club? You didn't say who's won more that trophy and everything. That's one thing to. That's one of the criteria.
Well,
which is almost neck and neck. And we've just got another cup just the other day.
Yeah, and it's still behind us.
I'm saying the rivalry. What does it mean to you?
The rivalry means everything. It's the biggest game on Manchester United's calendar. You could talk about Man City coming to fruition in the last 15 years. Cool. But as a Man United fan, when the fixture list comes out, I want to know, when is Liverpool home? When is Liverpool away? Now, in terms of the great Premier League rivalries, of course, we went toe-to-toe with Arsenal more than anyone else, then Chelsea, then a little bit of City. But the interesting thing is that these two big football clubs never coexist at the same time at the top. There's
Maybe
usually
08,
a trade-off.
09?
Exactly.
08,
at
09
best.
was the only one.
You never get Man United and Liverpool, and that's where it's weird with the Arsenal thing of Man United and Arsenal now rising together to be like how it was of old, where they can compete for the Premier League trophies. But in terms of this rivalry, it's huge. It's
you hate Liverpool?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When they talk about all the 6 European Cups and all this stuff, and we talk about all the Premier League titles that we've won, that hatred between Man United and Liverpool is real. Yeah, in terms of, there are similarities in terms of how mammoth the both clubs are, tragedies that went with both clubs and the history that goes in the football clubs, and some of the big players, legends of football that have played for both. But when it comes to the team I hate most, it's Liverpool.
Do you hate Man United?
Of course. And you'll know through me being on DR Sports, I get a lot of comments that say, look how negative he is about Manchester United. He never gives them credit. Look at him, he's in pain seeing them win. I am right now, because that's what hatred is. It's like, if your missus dumped you and then went out with a new fella, you're not going to buy him a pint and say how good looking he is every Friday, are you? You're going to say, well, I hate you now. And that's what it is. But again, we hate them, they hate us. But deep down, there is respect there because of what we both achieved.
You're on the rise again.
They are, scarily.
Are you scared?
Yes.
Of course he is.
Of course I am.
They all are.
You will be as well.
Don't worry about me. I'm asking you. Are you scared?
You are, though, as well.
You're facing them.
No,
You're facing them this week.
I'd be
Are
lying.
you scared of Manchester United? Are you scared that they're going to come and do a number on you?
Ask Flex the same question. When we started winning trophies a few years ago, he would have thought, shit, they're actually here to stay. The way I'm looking at United now, it is a scary sight because they've got the right manager. The fans are on board again until they lose a game, they get their Norwich scarves out. Yep. And the players are playing for the team and the fans and the manager. So when you've got that holy trinity all singing off the same hymn sheet, it's scary. And they're going to be backed now. And I think, looking forward in the next 2 to 3 years, now there's even more pressure on you to win this league. What I would say is, even with all this great form that they've got, Rashford is the best player in the world right now. If you do not win a Premier League in the next 2 years,
I'm not going to allow you to tell us what our time frame is with a long-term plan with someone like Eric Ten Hag.
But what you can say, this year you're in a title race, so surely 1 year, 2 years, get closer.
This is where that's for you to do. In-house, we're fine. Okay. Yeah, your thing's burning down. At the end of the day, Klopp, your cycles come to an end. When Eric Ten Hag come to Manchester United, you know what he said?
End of an era, yeah, I've heard it.
He said, yeah,
I've heard it all.
Well, you're the first to suffer.
Okay.
You're the first to suffer. He said all eras come to an end. And my God, has Klopp's come to an end where he needs to rebuild it. So I'm not going to allow Liverpool fans to tell us what we must do within the next 2 years because they need to rebuild their whole ship. But in terms of, are they scared of us? Of course they are. I respect AGT for saying it as it is, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day...
As like he was a few years ago with us.
This is the very... Do you remember, Erik Ten Hag hasn't even been here a year. He hasn't even been here a year.
Impressive.
He has won the first trophy available to him. You can call it the Tin Pot, you can call it that.
Not a tin pot
it's the trophy that was available to everybody equally, and it's the first one. It's the only trophy you can win this early in the season. He's got it in the bag. He's now hunting down the FA Cup. We've dispatched of the best team in Spain. When before we played Barcelona, they dropped out of the Champions League, and everyone was saying how good they are. They'd only conceded 7 goals before we played them, only lost one game all year to the Real Madrid side that's just put them to the sword. And we'll finish the job next week, yeah? At the end of the day, Man United, in that short space of time, people have to take note and say, flipping it. They've got the right manager, they're buying the right players, and we're on the up.
Got a question for you. So we're talking about managers.
Oh, here we go.
Klopp.
Every week he asks me the same question, you know?
Yeah, because he's under
Is it
pressure.
the end of an era? He said it. Is it the end of an era with Klopp? Actually, I've got 2 questions for you. Is it the end of the era for Klopp? And if you could swap Klopp at the end of the season for Ten Hag,
Absolutely never, ever. Brother. Right, let me answer the first question you asked, right? Is it coming to the end of an era? I would say in this cycle, yeah, but sometimes it's not always the worst thing to have an end of an era.
But if
because
it's
then
the
you
end
start
of
a
the
new
era,
one.
then my follow-up question has some reasoning in it. Then would you, at the end of the season, swap Klopp for Ten Hag?
Absolutely
What if you don't
not,
get top 4?
ever.
What if you don't get top
that's
4?
a ridiculous question. I've never
So
swapped.
at the end of an
my
era and
manager
you
for
need
anyone.
a new manager.
Listen to this one then, right? So, yes, I'm admitting it is an end of an era because, again, we're seeing Bobby Firmino leave today. He's played the most games under Jurgen Klopp, been there for 8 years, longer than Klopp. So with the likes of him leaving, with the likes of Milner, Keita, Ox probably going to leave this summer, you are looking at a whole bunch of new players and a new identity, a new era, if you want to call it that.
Is he the right guy to carry that forward?
He is the right man to carry that forward. Flex knows it. Flex has said this on DR as well, that you have to back him and give him the time and money to invest to create a new era. Like I said, my parents have been divorced 20 years. They're still mates. They had the end of their era, but they're still cool. Doesn't always mean it's the end of the world when there's an end of an era. It just means you allow this person to start up a new one, but you have to give them the tools to do that. Because if you don't...
But is he the person to do it?
Yes, I've said
is
it a million
Is he
times,
going to be
Robbie.
refreshed enough?
Yes.
Because
yes.
you've heard the stories of 7 years.
I've heard it from you 7 times now.
Let me ask you, would you swap Ten Hag for Klopp?
At Man United? No, absolutely not. No.
He's saying what I would say.
No, I definitely wouldn't do that because Erik Ten Hag has shown me all I need to see within 6 months that he's the right man for Manchester United. We've just got a trophy at the first time of asking.
So did Mourinho win that trophy?
But
Mourinho won
and I'll
that
tell you
same
why it feels
trophy.
different. I'll tell you why it
Van
feels
Gaal
different.
won a trophy, got sacked the same day.
I'll tell you why it feels different. Because the culture at the club is completely different. The type of football that we're playing is completely different, and the harmony amongst the club is completely different. Now, time will tell, obviously, for how well Ten Hag does. But in terms of trying to stop this mission that he's on now and get Klopp to Man United, absolutely not. I couldn't think of anything worse. But for them, the pressure is on Jurgen Klopp. Because for the first time in his Liverpool career, he's been questioned. He's about to answer a question that hasn't been posed to him before. Can he rebuild a side? He built the side up to where it needed to be, won every single trophy that's on offer. But if Klopp fails next year, and they finish miserably when he gets transfers and stuff like that, then he's in trouble. He's in trouble because there's where Liverpool should be, or where you guys want to see yourself. If Klopp fails next season, even if he fails this season and then does it again, could be
That's
curtains.
why this summer, I would argue, is the most important summer that Liverpool have had as a football club in the last 7 years, in terms of making sure every single component is set up for you to give it everything in the summer going into the new season. And I think if we fail to get our number 1 or number 2 or number 3 targets, if we fail to get rid of the deadwood, if we fail to start the season in a really strong position, then of course the pressure will mount up. I'm not stupid. I do realise that if things aren't going well, things do have to change. But I'm confidently telling you, and trust me when I say this, I'm 100% telling the truth here. I believe in him. He is the man to be at the head of the... I've just told you a million times how sure I am of it. He is the man to lead us into this new era and this rebuild.
Was it his fault at the start of this season with the signings? You know what I mean? He said he didn't need a midfielder. He was being urged to buy certain players, and he said, no, I don't need them. Got that wrong, didn't he?
I think there's a lot of naivety when people look at this situation, right? Obviously, he's not going to go out to the press and say the exact words that he's being told by FSG. That's not how football works. You know this, right? Yeah. He's not a mouthpiece for the owners. However, I think this is why this summer is so much more important now because of the season that we've had, because we've shown that we did need to invest last summer and we didn't. Whether you want to blame Klopp for that, FSG, it's a bit of a summer.
You just got to January, celebrated getting Cody Gakpo from hijacking in from Man United. You ain't got no midfielders.
Again, this is why this summer is so big, because that's the big area that we have to address. I've just said it's a mix between Klopp, FSG. It's a mix.
So how do you trust him coming to the summer?
There's not one person I trust more than Jurgen Klopp.
But under their ownership, where they've said now they're not selling the club, which a lot of media, funny how we talk about who's the bigger club, a lot of media outlets were reporting that the fact that Man United were up for sale at the same time messed up their sale process and made them go, actually, boy, the bigger boys are for sale, you know. Let's just put our thing back where it's not for sale no more. We'll come back once they've been sold, because the market's a bit screwed right now. Man United's worth $6 billion. We ain't getting that because we're not a bigger club.
If that's what you want to say, that's cool. But that one there, in terms of the misinformation about this alleged takeover, that has to be down to FSG, and they have to take full responsibility for that. They're coming out doing interviews a day before we played Real Madrid saying, we're not selling. What have we sold in the last 20 years? Nothing. So that tells me, boy, if they're not selling it, if they're not or they have put it on the market, but they're just not
tells you there's instability.
Yeah, so
they're not getting the numbers they want.
Comment here from Redmond says, I love Liverpool fans still holding on, stubborn and laughable. You stubborn?
Stubborn? No, I'm loyal. I wouldn't use that word, stubborn. Arsene Wenger was stubborn, if you want to talk about stubborn. Sir Alex Ferguson was stubborn in a very good way, but then also knew when to let go of the big names. I think Klopp, there has been question marks raised over his loyalty or over loyalty to certain players, and I keep saying it. I know I keep saying it. This summer, we have to bring in and take out the right players.
Flicks, you can take one player from the Liverpool side. Who would it be?
There's no one in midfield that I touch with a barge pole, because they're all awful.
Awful. Have some respect. These are Premier League, Champions League. They've won everything. This midfield that you've called awful has won every trophy there is to win.
Let me tell you this now.
Everything.
As of today, they're all awful now.
Right.
Henderson is washed. Fabinho is washed. Keita's never been good. Bajcetic, how do you say the kid's name?
Bajcetic, have some respect.
Little kid, done okay.
Little kid, all right.
He's young, little kid, and he's done well.
We'll see.
Kid, and he's done well. Who else you got in midfield? Thiago. The warm-up's his best highlight.
Royce.
The warm-up is Thiago's best highlight, where he can keep the ball up and fizz it, little volley. Oh, nice, keep it up. Shit in the games, don't do anything.
Shit.
Don't do anything. Yeah.
This is so disrespectful.
So midfield wouldn't touch him with a barge pole.
You said that, yep.
Back four. They told us that Van Dijk, was the best thing since sliced bread. They told us that he's the best ever in the Premier League. Rio Ferdinand, John Terry, over people like this, Vincent Kompany, top draw defenders, Jaap Stam, the list goes on, They told us he's the best. Do you know what Jamie Carragher, their actual...
Are you going to answer this question, by the way?
Wait, hold on.
Pick a player.
Hold on. Their own legend in Jamie Carragher, who is actually a centre-back legend at Liverpool, said even he can play over Van Dijk right now. Even he can play now. He can come out of retirement and play. So I wouldn't have him over Martinez or Varane. Joe Gomez, crap. Cody Gakpo looks average, to be fair. I think we dodged a bullet. Thanks for that.
You're funny.
Who would I take?
Look, he's scraping the barrel.
Salah,
what he fails to recognise is, before he even answers...
Hang on. Luis Diaz, Rashford back up. Luke Shaw's fine. Better than Robertson. Darwin Nunez.
You need a striker.
Bench. Up front, he's all right. Misses too many chances, though.
Come on, give me one.
Do you know what I mean, Robbie? He's taking the piss here.
It's going to be one.
Well, it'll be a lot easier for him to do.
The one that comes in has to replace somebody you've got. So
in the starting 11?
Yeah.
This guy is taking the piss, Robbie.
Salah for Anthony to start right now. That's it. That's the only Liverpool player who could start at Man United.
Same question to you.
Salah has scored 10 and 11 against United, so I would have picked the same.
That's
so well done. The funny thing is all the players that he's just mentioned.
And Alisson. Maybe Alisson.
Okay. Yeah. There you go. So that's 2.
At most.
Thank you. That's generous.
At most.
The
Same
funny
question
thing
for
is,
you.
every single player he's slated there, they've won more trophies combined than
You
United
already
have won
said
in the
that.
last 10
Mate,
years.
I've told you
So
they're
you
washed.
have to-
That's because they're washed.
Let me
Which
speak.
player
I don't care about the
would you
past.
take?
That's what Liverpool fans do.
Let
I'm
me
talking
speak.
about
It's
the past.
my
You're talking about
turn.
now. Who would I
Let me
take? And I'm
speak. It's
saying
my
they're
turn.
washed.
We done?
Yeah.
Cool. One player, Casemiro, as a Fabinho replacement. Look at his trophy cabinet, mate. 5 Champions Leagues. He's won everything there is to win. Single-handedly, I would say he has transformed that Manchester United midfield. That midfield last season, we were laughing at it, including yourself. You know, Flex predicted his own team to lose 3-0 away at Anfield last season. Very different prediction he's going to have this time. But the reason why he's so confident this time as opposed to last season is because of Casemiro. Let's not beat around the bush. Martinez, the spine is looking good, but I think Casemiro in particular, unbelievable footballer. A massive shithouse. Let's have it right. Massive shithouse. But in that position, as the destroyer, who you can't get past,
And who would you
he's
give
the
them
guy.
a swap?
Any of them,
how do you mean?
Any of them,
Because he's got to come in for a player in your starting lineup. So who
funny.
does he come in
Any one of them, mate. You get rid of any of them because they're all crap. You would. Your whole midfield.
crap, it's mad.
I guarantee you now, they're
The
that
same
bad.
team beat you
you'd get rid of-
5-0, bro.
Bro,
Away.
stop talking about last year. You're crap now. It's just like you need to stop
Crap
doing
is a
that
bit
whole like.
offensive though, Robbie.
Last year we did this. Last year we did that. This year you're shit.
Okay, if that's-
And these
you better
players
beat us on Sunday then.
It's not
You
about,
better beat us on
even
Sunday.
Even that. You could still beat Man United and go back to being shit and not getting the top 4. What I'm saying
That would be very
is
Liverpool
these
if you did
central
that.
midfielders where Robbie's saying, who would you give back? I'm laughing because I'm saying none of them can lace Casemiro's boots. Fabinho's awful
Thiago
now.
can. Let's have it right.
No, he
Thiago
can't.
can lace his boots.
No, he can't.
Bro,
What's he
come
done
on.
since he's come here?
Come on.
What's Thiago
Come on
actually
now.
done since he's come to Liverpool?
Won more
Apart
trophies.
from spray a cup.
Won more trophies.
That doesn't mean he's good now.
He was an integral part of us getting to the
Washed.
Champions League final. He was the man of the match in the Champions League final 2 years ago.
Wash wouldn't get in the Man
A
United
couple of
side.
super chats here. Gobo Staunton says, Flex, not a Liverpool fan, but your right winger is just human fidget spinner.
We definitely, every team dodged a
They're
bullet
scared
with
of the
him.
Anthony Spin. They're scared of that.
Priest of Banter says, Madrid humbled a lad, no arrogance left in him. 40 side says, 1 Carabao Cup win, and this is how Flex is chatting. Laugh out loud.
Trust me.
No, how many
Hella
how many
chest.
points
Let
are we
me
higher
finish the
in
guy's
Liverpool?
super chat.
Go on.
He says United are a Rashford or Casemiro injury away from a top 4 fight.
Do you know what's funny about when people go, if this person gets injured, or if that person gets injured, or if this happens, if that happens? It ain't happening. At the end of the day, we're fighting on all fronts. We're having a great season. And this isn't about winning the Carabao Cup. That's not why I'm saying we're better than Liverpool. I'm saying we're better than Liverpool because we're like, how many points above you? We're
Deep-
nowhere near
it's
you in
about
the
time
league.
you were
Learning
above us in the league, to
Simplified
be honest.
says
It's about
Thiago
time.
was part of the team of the season last year.
Correct.
Yeah, and now he's not good.
Because he's injured, bro. He's not good. He's injured. That's how injuries work.
Gassed
All
up,
right.
overrated.
How's it going to play out then?
Rolls Royce.
Who's going to win this game?
That's Varane.
Because come Sunday, all the talking is going to finish, right? And it's going to be about the 2 teams on the pitch. United have not got a good record at Anfield.
Nope.
7 years, Robbie.
7 years since you last won there.
But Eric Ten Hag wasn't
Right.
there. It's different now.
So you're
He
confident
came
you're
with
gonna go there
Ajax,
and get a
got
result?
slumped as well. So I don't know what difference he's
Eric
making.
Ten
He
Hag
came with
at
Ajax, got
Manchester, the
slumped.
same way how Liverpool come Old Trafford and got run up on after we just lost 2 on the bounce and everyone was laughing at us. That was a turnaround. That shows you what we're on. We weren't scared of Liverpool then, and we damn right ain't scared of them now. So Man United will win this game.
How's it going to play out for you?
Well, they have to win this game. So if
So
they
do
wanna-
you. So do you.
course.
Look at that.
If you let me-
flip it toss. So do you.
If you let me
You're
finish,
chasing the top 4.
these guys, man. We have to win this game, but I would say mentally for them, if they can come to Anfield and get a win, that mental block of being able to come and actually do well at Anfield is a big thing for them. So if they can win, it's
Who has to
massive
win it
for
more?
Manchester United.
I mean, we've got a
but
poll
Liverpool
going at the
need to
moment.
win this game to get
There's
into
a
the
poll
top
at the
4.
moment.
Simple as that.
Sorry
They need
to
more
cut
than
into you. There's a poll at the moment saying 64% saying they feel Manchester United will win.
Doesn't surprise me. They are the form team in Europe
But
right now.
how is that? Because you guys at home, I've been, you're still, it's still Anfield.
Still a fortress, yeah. Listen, I'm backing my team. I think we win this game. I was at the game on Wednesday night in the COP, and listen, it wasn't the best performance, but we got the 3 points, which gives us that little bit of momentum going into this one. Now, 4 clean sheets in a row, Robbie. I think that needs to be spoken about a little bit more. I don't think any team in the Premier League has 4 clean sheets in a row, unless you can tell me one. I'm not too sure.
It's not great though.
So defensively, Liverpool have improved in the last month.
Like, it's not.
Well, exactly.
That's clutching. That's
no, but it's facts. It's not clutching.
So you're in good form. So you're in good form then.
Defensively, yeah, 100%.
Is the whole team in good form?
3 wins in 4, yeah, I'd say so.
Defensively, you know.
About the 4 before that.
Trent Alexander-Arnold up against Rashford. You worried about that?
That is a worrying sight when you look at Rashford's joy against Trent at Old Trafford in recent games. But again, what Flexes and maybe yourself is failing to understand, this is still Anfield. Look at how obviously the game didn't finish well against Madrid, but the first 20 minutes, if we do that to you, I fear that Manchester United might cower to the atmosphere.
Here's this one for you. We went to the new camp, who were top of La Liga.
Europa League, yeah.
Doesn't matter whether it's Europa League, it's Barcelona, and you have to take them for the Barcelona that they are now, which is the best team in Spain. They just beat Real Madrid last night in their own backyard. So you don't try this thing of trying to downplay what Barcelona. Right now, they're the top of their league, and when we went there, they'd only conceded 7 goals and lost 1 game, and that was against Real Madrid. We went 1-0 down and could handle the occasion. So what I'm saying is I'm relating that back to my argument of proof that adversity doesn't scare me.
It was a great win, but it was to get into the last 16 of the Europa League.
It doesn't matter what it was for. It's still
Liverpool are in the
a great
Champions
game.
League. I mean, are they getting ahead of themselves?
I'd say a little bit. Again, I have to give them credit, and again, I've been accused of not doing that. So let me just give them the credit that they deserve, because in the last, we've still seen some howlers from them this season, losing away at Brentford, etc. But you talk about the Liverpool win, I think since that game, they have been the best team in Europe. So of course you give them the flowers. But they know more than anyone, coming to Anfield at any time, let alone when Liverpool are playing bad, let alone when they're playing really well, it's always going to be a difficult game. And it is a big if, because they haven't been there necessarily in the times that we've needed them, but if the fans get up for this one and we score early doors, it could be a long afternoon for them.
Okay, I've got quick fire for you guys now. Ready?
Yep.
Right. And ask you a set of questions, and you just give me who
Ready,
the
man.
answer is. Right? I'm looking for a defender.
Rafael
Virgil
Varane.
van Dijk or Rafa Varane?
Rafael Varane. Listen, at the end of the day, form is temporary, class is permanent. Yeah. At the end of the day, don't get me wrong. I clown Van Dijk because I just think that he's been put on this pedestal as the greatest ever.
Deserved.
And he's done well in this little 3-year spell that he's done.
I said 6 years downstairs a minute ago, but
that's when all of Liverpool were doing. He wasn't there the whole time, was he?
Yeah.
Or was he?
He was.
Was it?
Since we were good, 2017 he came, yeah.
What? So
he changed us.
So
totally changed us.
When you got him and Alisson,
2018,
he's done well. But this notion that he's like better than Rio Ferdinand and better than Stam and better than John Terry, I think is false. I think
is he better than Varane?
No, he's not. When
Rafael
Varane was picking up Champions Leagues at Real Madrid and flipping Van Dijk was playing against Inverness, Caledonian and Thistle,
tough
and
away
things like
day,
that, and when he was at Southampton next to Yoshida,
Big up
don't
Yoshida,
talk to me
man.
about levels and careers, Varane has been good since young and done it at the highest level for a long period because he's a better player. Now, don't get me wrong. At Liverpool, Van Dijk's done very, very well. But Varane and Van Dijk, there's only one winner, and it's Varane.
He's bringing in players that aren't even involved.
Because they're always better. I'm just on a roll.
Van Dijk's clearly rattled him since he's come to Liverpool. But listen, Van Dijk's stronger than him. He's more of a leader than Varane as well. He's won the Premier League. Yes, Casemiro and Varane have both done very well at Real Madrid, but let's not forget the team that they were playing with. Incredible Galacticos all over the pitch. Because they deserve to be there.
Exactly.
The difference between me and you is I won't slag off Varane. I know he's very good. You're trying to clown Van Dijk. If that's your style, cool. I don't do that.
I said he's been very good since he's come there.
That's not me.
Said he's been very good since he's come there. I said he's not better than Varane.
Varane's been very good since he's come. I'm obviously going Van Dijk.
All right.
Obviously.
Got another one for you. Salah or Rashford?
Rashford's had one good season in the last 5 to 6 years, I would say, and that's this year. But Salah has scored 20 goals consecutively for the past 6 years. If we're talking about this season right now, Salah's on 21 goals, Rashford's on 24. So if we're talking about this season right now, you can hold that. Fair play to the boy, actually, for what he went through after the Euros and how he's mentally turned this around, went to the mountains in Oregon, came back a different man. Yeah. So fair play to Rashford. But I think Flex knows on this one as well. If we're talking about the last 5 years, consistency, trophies, it's Salah. It's only one answer.
Salah's proved that he's world class. Rashford hasn't proved he's world class yet. I'm not, I will always back my guy, and I wouldn't swap them. I want my guys come through the academy, and I want Rashford to keep doing what he's doing, because I think Rashford right now has found his groove and can start looking to say, I want to start proving people that I'm world class, whereas Salah has been there and done that.
Final one in the quick fire. Young player that's going to have the better career, that's going to be,
Is it James Milner or Garnacho?
The player. Right?
Milner's probably fitter than him still, which is the madness.
So it's actually, excuse me, it's actually Garnacho or Harvey Elliott.
Different positions. I think it's a little bit unfair to put Harvey in.
Gakpo, and it probably should have been Gakpo and Garnacho if you want to.
Loves. He's rattled. He's mentioned Gakpo more than I have. It's
because
mad.
of the similarity of the positions.
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that.
That's fair.
Gakpo or Garnacho.
Again, Garnacho's what, 18? Gakpo's what, 22? I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair.
To be fair, there isn't really a parallel.
If there's anything, it's Bajcetic. If there's anything, in terms of who's that star boy that's coming off the bench and actually forcing himself into games. For us, it's Bajcetic. For you, it's Garnacho. Again, different positions, so it's a little bit unfair. But who are we going with
what
here,
I would say,
Garnacho and who?
Look, what I would say about how do you say it?
Bajcetic.
Bajcetic. I think he's
or
playing...
Or if you're Scouse, Bajcetic.
I think he's playing more out of the fact that you're crap in that position.
I'd agree, actually.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, Henderson's done.
But sometimes that's how diamonds get made.
100%. I'm not... Listen, when you get young... one thing I never do is slate young players. Even if they're in a rival team, I think young players need time to grow. They need time to show what they can do. And he's showing...
All right, you know what? Let's cancel that. Let's cancel
but that's a hard one.
Seeing as let's cancel that. I'm going to go for 2 forward players, right? Yeah. Which one of these 2 players will be the better in the future, right? Nunes... Darwin Nunes for you guys.
My guy, yeah.
Right? Or Garnacho.
It's really hard, and I like that one.
That's a little bit more even because of the ceilings.
I think Nunes is really raw. I think people clown him, say easy Andy Carroll and stuff like that.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
Darwin Noodles. Yeah, 100%. All of that, yeah.
Yeah. I call him Charles Darwin as well.
Very clever man, Charles Darwin.
But no, I think he's better than people give him credit for. But I think Garnacho, for me, I'm going to stick with my boy. I think he has that early Ronaldo.
He's a couple years behind, though.
A couple years behind because he hasn't been playing senior football that long. I'm going to go with Garnacho. And the reason why, I think he has that character, that swag, that jubilance, that arrogance. To come in at Manchester United at 18 and do what he's been doing. Darwin Núñez is coming off the back of playing in the Champions League, getting goals at Benfica, highly coveted, where someone wants to spend 70+ million on him. Garnacho's come from Atletico Madrid youth ranks and come to us, and he only just won the FA Youth Cup last year, and look what he's doing now, deciding games against Manchester City, deciding games at Real Sociedad away, doing it against Fulham, winning us single-handed points by himself. At this age, I'm going to go Garnacho.
Again, he's 18. I think Darwin's 22. So an argument to say that Darwin's a little bit more advanced in his career. But I think if we're talking about ceilings in terms of who's going to score, when they sit down at the end of their careers and they look at the stats, again, football shouldn't always be about stats. But I think Darwin has better numbers than Garnacho across his career. When they finally both sit down and look at what they've achieved.
Better numbers, but I bet Garnacho has more trophies.
Again, I would argue that. I
think Garnacho will have the better career, but I think that Darwin Núñez, because he's a striker, he gets more. He will say I've scored more goals than Garnacho, but he will say show me.
But again, Darwin's single-handedly done really well for us in games.
He's already won up.
How do you mean?
Because
trophies.
Since Garnacho's already got one in the pocket in the first 6
Darwin
months.
Won the Community Shield.
You see, they count.
All right, listen. Final question, because you know what? On Sunday, all the talking is going to finish, and we're going to find out who is on top in this massive game, right? So let's get your predictions. Start with you, Flex. You're the visiting team. Going to Anfield. Don't matter that, you know, maybe they've not been in their greatest moment.
No, big game.
It's Anfield.
Big game.
Anfield's a tough place to go to.
It is.
And that crowd gets up behind them and that, you know, and not every team can come back like Real Madrid if you go 2 down.
Facts.
If you offered me a draw right now, I wouldn't take it. I don't want to take it because I smell blood. I want to add insult to injury and I want to kick Liverpool while they're down. And we owe them. Like you said, we haven't won at Anfield for a long time. They embarrassed us there last year. We haven't won there in a long time. And under this team, it's not so much about our Premier League where we're going to finish. I'm comfortable with us in the Premier League. I just smell blood and I want to go there and I want to beat them and I think we're going to do it. I'm going to go a tight game. I think it's going to be like the City game where either team can win it, but I think we will just edge it 1-0.
Alex.
I hear that. I hear it all.
You hear it loud and clear.
Can't not. But again, this is Anfield, Robbie. You know yourself, it's not an easy place to go. And if a goal starts flying in, if another goal flies in, then as I said, the crowd will not let you breathe. We will suffocate you until you can no longer stand up. And again, we will have no mercy at that stage if it gets to
Casemiro
that. With
and Varane
respect.
and Martinez are fine with that. We'll be fine.
Okay, well, if that's what you think, but I'm still going to back my team. The record is the record for a reason. We've done very well against Man United recently. Home and away, doesn't really matter. We go to Old Trafford and win 5-0.
Not this
Calm.
season. Not this season.
So I'm going to go with a slim Liverpool win. That's not me sitting here saying it's going to be anything like it was last season. Times have changed. We've got worse, you've got better. So the level is actually probably, if it was that last season, maybe it's that now. With you just ahead in terms of points in the league. However, got to back my team. I am going for a 2-1 win.
Okay, that's the same as Mohit Kumar. He goes 2-1 to Liverpool. Gunalad89 says Liverpool 1, Man United 2. Ishmael says 2-1 to Man United. Drip Football says 2-1 to Man United. 2-0 to Man United, says Kerfin. Sushma says 1-0 to Liverpool. 3-0 to United, says Lewis. A suffocating 5-2, says Kalpak. And Siobhan says United. 1-1, says Lewis. 27172. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a really interesting game. It's the biggest game in English football. It's Manchester United versus Liverpool. Or should I say it the other way around, because they're Anfield. Liverpool versus Manchester United. It's on Sunday. We'll be doing a watch-along to it. Also, these guys on their channels, they'll be all over it. Of course, Flex from United View, Alex from the Klopp TV. So make sure you go and check out their channels. I know they've done previews, etc.
Can I just say as well, Robbie?
This is going to be a heated game.
It is going to be a heated game, but now we've done the face-off, I just wanted to say, working with Flex in Qatar and yourself was an incredible time for all of us. We made some incredible content.
I allow that, man. It's the face-off, man. And I don't want to hear none of that. No,
and I respect what he's doing on his channel. You know, the access that they're getting on United View, easily by far the best United channel in YouTube right now. You begging
friend now?
No, 100%. This is just me just paying my respect.
Because my man's on a war footing.
That's cool.
He doesn't want to hear no respect. He's coming for war.
No, big up. I appreciate it. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate
This is the first video we've done since Qatar. So that's why I'm saying it.
No, respect for that.
Come on, G.
Nah,
nah, man. You mad? You mad? This guy.
Big up to AGT, the Klopp TV. You can check him out. Also, United View, Flex. And as I said, looking forward to that game on Sunday. Huge game. Who's going to win it?
Come on, Liverpool.
Let us know. Thanks for watching this live, and we'll see you on the next one.